Once you try this archetype, you're going to be hooked on it as much as I am. Hi, I'm Warren with Crackerjack Games. If you like cool cards and hot deck techs, be sure to like and subscribe. You can find the full deck list in my Mox field, link in the comments. And since we're talking Spider-Man, let me know your favorite card from the Spider-Man set. So we're building a Dimir tempo deck with Symbiote Spider-Man. It deals combat damage to a player. Look at that many cards from the top of your library. Put one in your hand and the rest in your graveyard. And we have a nice little Find New Host ability. You can exile this card from your graveyard and pay 3. Put a counter on a creature. It gains this card's other abilities. So as you imagine, at some point we're going to put this on something with tons of power, and we're going to start filling our graveyard super fast. But this is Dimir Tempo, and the way you play it, you get your creature down early, you start chunking in for a little bit of damage, you get tons of card selection, and then you protect your board all the way to a win. All with cool art and awesome legendary creatures. Speaking of cool creatures, we've got Baleful Strix. It enters, draws a card, and it just sits there and dares people to attack you. You probably won't put the Symbiote Spider-Man ability on this, but it just sitting there is good enough. I love Basim Ibini Shak. Cast a historic spell, draw a card. Beauty. We have some sagas, we've got artifacts, and we have legendary creatures, so we are ready to go. Basim gets bigger and bigger every time he connects, so this is going to be a great place to stick that ability if we ever need to. It's hard to say Dimir Tempo without thinking about Fairy Mastermind. You pop it in there, and when your opponents start doing cool stuff, you get to draw cards. And let me just tell you, as you join House Dimir, you're going to love drawing more cards. We got a bird lawyer on our side as well. Ledger Shredder is great. Players do stuff, we get to connive. And this thing gets in all the time with flying, so make sure you get to play it. The most Dimir Tempo card that's been printed in the last couple of years is probably Psychic Frog. And short of just not being able to play it in the command zone, I'd say you want to get a copy and put it in this deck. Now, have you played Polywog Prodigy? Opponents cast non-creature spells, you draw cards, and it's going to get bigger and bigger because your creatures are getting bigger and bigger. Remember, we're going to fill the graveyard. I know you played some Final Fantasy and you probably have a copy of Emmett Selch just walking around. When you attack, you get to loot. And you're going to have 14 cards in your graveyard right away, so this thing's going to transform. And on your turn, you've got Yawgmoth's Will. So that seems good, right? One of my favorite commanders of all time, Malcolm Keen-Eyed Navigator, fits perfectly into this deck. Hoop an opponent, get a treasure. And again, it's going to get in for damage. It has flying. And my favorite mono-black creature of all time, Yeheni Undying Partisan. A sacrifice outlet. That's good. He's not going anywhere. An indestructibility clause is really nice. And as your opponent's creatures die, he gets bigger. Check, check, check. All good things. Now, of course, one Symbiote Spider-Man is good, but 2 is probably better. And being that Sakashima gives you the legend rule doesn't apply, let's get another copy out there. Spark Double's going to do the same thing for us. And we have some powerful ETBs in the deck, so we're playing Thassa Deep Dwelling, which, once you've got Devotion, is no slouch either. How about some cool reanimation targets? Like Ancient Brass Dragon, which is going to make combat damage easy since it has flying, and you're going to bring back all your other creatures as well. Now, if you haven't put a Brainstealer Dragon into play, and do it unfair, just reanimate it, this thing gets 3 cards at your end step. And when you start casting your opponent's spells, they lose life. Beautiful. Think of all the weird and crazy stuff people play in Commander. Take someone's Avenger of Zendikar and boom, that player takes 7 as well. That seems pretty good. And let's be honest, hitting someone's Soul Ring isn't bad either. Now, we're not playing Rhystic Study or Mystic Remora, but we are playing the biggest fish of all time, Nezahal Primal Tide. This thing sticks around forever. You're going to have tons of cards in hand, so it's going to be hard for your opponents to remove permanently. Oh, and a 7/7 ain't nothing to slouch at in a game of Casual Commander. We should also have a Spider-Man-themed reanimation target in the deck, so we're playing Dr. Octopus, the Master Planner. And they hit it really hard on the nose. Your maximum hand size is 8. What I really like, though, is if you don't have 8 cards in hand, you get to draw up to 8 cards. That is actually a nutso ability, especially late game. We've got Reanimate in the deck, obviously. How about Come Back Wrong, though? Destroy a creature and then reanimate it? Sure, it's going to get sacrificed, but, there's ETBs to be had all over the board. I don't know if you've ever played Victimize, but sack a creature and return 2 creatures to the battlefield tapped seems just absolutely busted in a deck with tons of creatures. Anytime I play a black creature deck, I play Malakir Rebirth. It's essentially a counterspell. Same with Not Dead After All, and the Wicked Roll token's a nice little add-on. We can protect all of our stuff with Hide on the Ceiling, or we can clear out someone's board and get that last swing in to win the game. We do want cards in our graveyard, so we're playing Frantic Search. Now, you know that one person in your play group that always plays a token deck. Make sure you got Force of Despair. For the cost of 1 black card in your hand, you're going to be able to wipe out all those tokens your opponent made that turn, and then turn the corner. We've got a couple game changers in the deck. Gifts Ungiven is one of them. Go get yourself 4 cards and make your opponents choose. You can get 3 reanimation spells and a big beater. That's going to be just fine. Now, we're playing a Spider-Man deck, which means we should play a Peter Parker card. And how about Peter Parker's camera? Copying that Symbiote Spider-Man ability, that seems just fine. You could also copy a Nezahal trigger, or maybe you want 2 treasures for some reason off of Malcolm. All those are just fine. Now, we can turn any creature into Dimir Tempo Baddie. Mask of Riddles gives fear, and we get to draw a card. I like that. And you'll be able to find a foil of this card for super cheap. I don't know if you've ever played with Mozzolantli, the Great Door, but it's a 3-mana looter. That's fine. But what's really powerful is that second ability, transforming this thing. The backside turns into something that makes tons of mana over and over and over again. We're playing one of the best ramp spells in a non-green deck we can with Sword of Hearth and Home. Blink a powerful creature, put a basic onto the battlefield. How about more copies of the Symbiote Spider-Man with Helm of the Host? We can also play Grim Captain's Locker. I really like the ability to give all your creatures escape. Make something unblockable, like with Aqueous Form. Draw more cards with Curiosity. You're starting to see how the deck's going to play. Every blue deck should run Search for Azcanta. There, I said it. This thing's going to flip over. You'll have Azcanta the Sunken Ruin, and you get to start digging for answers when you need them. I mentioned we have a couple sagas in the deck. The Death of Gwen Stacy. We've got creature removal and graveyard removal. And of course, the Clone Saga. Got a little surveil action. Copy a creature. Draw some cards. I also want to talk about 3 specific lands in the deck. We're playing Spymaster's Vault. This is a great way to pump up one of your creatures that lives through a board wipe of some sort, maybe Yahenni. Also playing Yahenni's Expertise to take out all the small creatures. Shizo's going to give our Symbiote Spider-Man some fear and get in for damage when we need it. And finally, this is one of the only times I would ever play a man land in Commander. First off, the art for this Creeping Tar Pit is just insane. Also, it can't be blocked, which means you can give this Symbiote Spider-Man's ability, and it's going to be nuts every time you get in for damage. But also, this is a Dimir Tempo deck, and lots of times the way you crash over the finish line is with a man land. Now, you made it this far. You should have hit that like and subscribe. Most importantly, go get yourself a Watery Grave and start building Dimir Tempo decks. They're so much fun to play with. It's Commander after all. Go have a good time. Hope this helps.